Good morning, monsters. I'm your host, Barnaby, and welcome to Monsters on the Edge on the Untold Radio Network. We have an amazing show today with not just one, but two guests. And I'm super excited to have our first guest here back on the show. Sorry, I've had a little bit of a cold this past week, and I'm not back into it yet. So, pardon me. But first, again, as always, guys, we have a lot of exciting news here at Cryptids Anomalies of the Paranormal Society. We have a brand new show coming out in 2024, which is Spirits of Menominee. It is a bunch of locations that we did for paranormal investigations in downtown Menominee, Michigan. And it is all the investigations that we did. There's one coming out per month, January, February, and March of the three locations. And if you want to check that out, make sure it's your subscriber on our YouTube channel. Here's more. Are you interested in the paranormal, ghosts, spirits, and the metaphysical? How about Mothman, Bigfoot, and other cryptids? What about UFOs, UAPs, and other anomalous phenomenon? Then you need to check out Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. We have all that and more. Watch our series, Caps Road Trip, where we travel across the U.S. in search of these phenomena and bring you not only the history of these locations, events, and encounters, but evidence that we capture along the way. Alongside our team of researchers and investigators, you never know who will be joining in on the investigations. Are you interested in Bigfoot in Upper Michigan? Check out Finding Haydn, a series documenting the Sasquatch activity on a very special 80-acre property just outside of Menominee that has been a hotspot since 2012. Want even more? Check out our podcasts. Whispers from the Dark is the official podcast of Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society and brings you interviews with the top names in the field of paranormal to cryptids and more. Hear witnesses' accounts and go in-depth with the CAPS team to hear more about our ongoing research. Are you more into cryptids? Find links to our all-cryptid show, Monsters on the Edge, on the Untold Radio Network. If you're into spooky, subscribe now and you won't miss a minute of our brand new series coming soon, Spirits of Macville. Follow along as we uncover the haunted history dating back to 1877 of a very well-known location you may have never guessed would be haunted. Head on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button and you won't miss a minute. That's right, guys. Spirits of Macville is also coming. That is going to be really cool. And we have not started putting that out yet either. So we have that. We have a new episode coming out in December and so much more. And if that's not enough, you guys can also check out our show On the Trail of Undiscovered Beasts on Paraflix. You can use promo code CAPS10 to get 10% off your first 3 months of subscribing to that. Paraflix Paranormal Plus is like a streaming platform like Netflix, but it's all paranormal and cryptids and everything that you're into. If you want to show your support for everything Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, head on over to wisconsincaps.com. Click on Shop Our Store. There you can find t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, magnets, stickers, mugs, tote bags, tank tops, pillows, and more. And we just added a whole bunch of cool new stuff coming up for our 2024 season. All of the Haydn Adventure merchandise for our new traveling exhibit that's coming out this year, so you guys can show your support and wear all the cool gear. I survived, I believe in all of that. And if you want to find out more about all the things that we do, you can find us at Wisconsin Caps at Patreon, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. WI Caps on Instagram. Brand new book, Bigfoot is Haydn, a 248-page full color documenting all the weird and strange Bigfoot and other weird activities on a very special 80-acre private property in Menominee, Michigan, is out now. You can find it at Bigfoot is Haydn at Amazon.com. It is $35 and is, as I said, is full color. It is a big book. I actually have I have a copy here, but it doesn't show up because it doesn't it's a big book right here. So there you go. If you want signed copies, you can head over to wisconsincaps.com and purchase it there, and you'll get one signed and mailed to you from there. This Sunday, we are going to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Cramps Festival that is downtown Milwaukee. Get more information at MilwaukeeParanormalConference.com, and you can get all the stuff for that, or head on over to wisconsincaps.com, click on public events, and you can find it there as well. And then coming up in May, we are going to be at the Hodag Heritage Festival in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. June 1st, we are going to be at the Marinette Menominee Bigfoot and Paranormal Convention as well. And that is what we got coming up, guys. If you want to show your support for all things here on the Untold Radio Network, here's how.
Hey, Untold Radio Network fans. Want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
And yes, Lee, the books are available at this Sunday in Milwaukee, as well as at the Marinette Menominee Bigfoot and Paranormal Convention. Wondering in the comments there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us up to our guests today. I know it says that we are supposed to have Hannah on our show today, but not just Hannah. We also have the returning Scott, Violette, on our show today. So I'm really happy to have both of them here for this special episode. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember them, let's take a quick look back here at this. They are a husband and wife research team known as Squatch America. Scot and Hannah Violette, combining Scott's and Hannah's expertise in anthropology and sociology research and communication. They are investigating the unexplained, not explaining the uninvestigated. Their mission is to construct a cultural behavioral narrative of the hominoid species known as Bigfoot. And I'm going to leave it there because I want to get right into this. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Scott and welcome Hannah. How are you doing?
Hi, Barnaby.
Great. Just great today.
Awesome. Scott, it is a privilege and an honor to have you back on the show today.
Oh, thanks.
And Hannah, I am looking so forward to discussing all things with you today as well. So thank you and welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I don't get a lot of invitations that aren't connected to him, so that was kind of nice.
Awesome. So, Scott, since you were on our show already, I'm going to start with Hannah. Hannah, tell us a little bit about your background and some of the stuff that you're interested in, because I know Scott had told us a little bit about some of the stuff that you're working. So I think a lot of our guests are very interested in what you have to say.
What did you say about me, man? I don't know what he said about me. Okay, well, oh yeah. Well, I don't even know where to start. I'm serious. What did you tell them about me? Do you
I don't remember.
Okay, well, all right. So I have a pretty eclectic background. And of the two of us, I tend to be the one that's more metaphysically bent. I come from a deeply spiritual background, but my career background includes clinical social work and music education. And so I don't know what you want to hear. I have 3 graduate degrees in research fields, social work and education and music education. And I did some pretty extensive qualitative and quantitative research for those degrees. So I kind of geek out on stuff. How about that? I geek out on stuff. And now I'm literally, I work with my day job. I work with people to optimize their health. And I'm also a dedicated yogi. So That's I do have a lovely if you all want to go to squatchamerica.com and shop for t-shirts, I have a meditating Bigfoot t-shirt that I love because punching humans is not okay usually.
Awesome. Well, let's start here, Hannah. What got you into Bigfoot and that in the first place? Did you have an experience? Okay.
I'm being honest. Honestly, so when there is absolutely nothing except a massive divine sense of humor that brought us together. Because I was very much a city girl who loved all the urban comforts and lifestyle. And when I met him, it was like serious country mouse, city mouse here. And I will never forget when we were getting ready to go on our honeymoon. He said, do you like hiking and camping? And I said, sure. I love hiking and camping. I used to go to summer camp every summer, and so his idea of hiking and camping was way different than my church camp experience. And so on our honeymoon, I found myself, 9,000 feet up on the Elkhorn Ridge Trail in Eastern Oregon, almost falling off the mountain. And that's another story for another time. But that was my introduction to his whole lifestyle. Anyway, for up until probably, I would say 2018, he had his hobbies. I had my hobbies. He had his interests. I had my interests, and we cohabitated as a married couple quite nicely. He wanted to go off and look for Bigfoot. That gave me weekends off to do what I wanted to do, go to concerts and, poke around the house without anyone bothering me. So, but when he brought back his picture from his encounter in 2018, it was like, oh, there's something there. And so that's when I started going out with him, and when I started thinking maybe it's not just a hobby, maybe it's not, maybe there's something more to this. And that's when I started to get to know what he was doing, started to dig in just a little bit to the research that, people like Dr. Meldrum had done, and it started interesting me a little bit more. So that's how I came into it.
Plus the shock of me coming in at 1 o'clock in the morning, shaking her awake. Look at this! Look what I saw it! I saw it!
Wow. All right. Very cool. So it started for you with, well, we'll say the epiphany moment here is when you saw the picture that he got.
Yeah, and the picture that he had, he didn't keep all of them. He should have kept all of them because it was digital, and we know as well as anyone that photos prove nothing, and you can, we've got AI and all sorts of crap but when he showed me on his, he just threw the little SD card into the computer and showed me frame by frame by frame with no editing whatsoever. Here's frame, nothing. Here's frame, holy crap. And then here's frame, nothing. So, to see the progression of nothing, something, and nothing from an untouched SD card, it was like, oh, okay. So, and then going back with him, when we went back to investigate the site where he had his encounter, to see the footprints, the nesting area, all that, it's like, okay, all right, we got something more than just goofing off here. This could be, by the way, I see people from our normal crowd in the audience today, and this could be probably the most serious they ever see me, by the way. I don't think they understand how intelligent I can be when I put my mind to it.
Wow. Awesome. Now I gotta ask. I gotta
say
ask.
we've been kind of dubbed the Ricky and Lucy of the Bigfoot world. I can't even say
it. Awesome. I gotta ask, is there somewhere that people can see the picture that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's on our website at squatchamerica.com, and I have a whole video, or I have 2 videos on our YouTube channel about it. So I need to do another one, update it a little bit.
I'm gonna see if I can find that here, but
It's actually right on the, when you go to squatchamerica.com, it's right there on that page, on the front page.
the front page. All right, well, here I got right here. Let's pull this up here. There
At
we
least
go. So is it this one right here?
Yep,
Yep.
that's it.
Wow.
And I have an enhanced
What are we
version.
looking at there?
Okay, in the center of the screen, you can see a face looking
Oh,
at you.
yes.
Right there. And there's actually one behind it too. I have an enhanced version of it that shows that a little bit better.
we should probably replace the picture there.
Yeah, we need to replace that one. But
we made a huge stride toward increased success on our website this year.
Hang on.
Oh, look.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very good.
Mhm.
Yeah. But we transitioned from upkeeping our own website to hiring out for that. And what I found is it's a lot more work to have someone else do it than it was for just me to go in and do it. But
because not only
anyway.
do you have to send them all the information, then you have to tell them what you want them to do, and you could have just done it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm starting to
I know the
think,
feeling. Yep.
but I have so many hours in the day, so there we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So if anybody else wants to take a look at this picture, like we said, it is at Squatch America right here.com, and this is the homepage. You can check it out. Oops, you can check it out right there and get all the information there. I will try and update the show notes and everything with I think they're in the show notes, but if not, I will put the link to that in the show notes as well. So there you go. All right. So you so your first aha moment here was this picture.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so then you start going out with Scott out into the woods to research and investigate. Have you had an encounter? Have you gotten a picture? Have you seen one?
I have not gotten a picture, and I have not seen one. I have found prints. And I have to say this. This guy here is trained in observation.
Mm-hmm.
As a former military guy. Now, I was in clinical social work, and I'm trained to observe certain things, particularly in the homes of families that are about to be dissembled for abuse and neglect. But that does not make me situationally aware in the woods. So I want to offer that caveat. It's like when you tell me, look over there in the woods, and Scott does this all the time. Look, do you see that? I said, what am I looking at? I don't know where to put my eyeballs. And these here are really thick. So my observation skills are not the best. But I have found prints, and I have had vocal encounters. I've had vocal exchanges.
Mm-hmm. Which comes in handy with her singing background. She's actually a choir teacher, so
that was part of my eclectic background.
Yeah. So she's really good at pitches and matching things in the woods. So we had a half an hour. Was it about a half an hour?
About a half an hour where I went back and forth with one that was getting further and further away, and it's like, that's very interesting. It was a lot of fun. So and I have had a stick thrown at me or something.
Yeah, it was a stick. Yeah, she had a stick thrown at her in the woods. Surprisingly, it was 4 years later, we went back to where I had my sighting to do a video about, hey, this is what it looks like now 4 years later, kind of thing. And we found footprints that day, and she had a stick thrown at her. So
I'm not placing any credence on the stick. I'm just saying, but it was weird, and it did come out of nowhere, and it came at an angle that shouldn't have been able to hit me. So, whatever. But that's the extent of. Now, if I have seen one, I was not aware of it. So, but I'm, like I said, I also don't have, I've gone out with friends of his who are trained in military style observation, and they see a lot better in the woods than I do. And I have no night vision whatsoever, none. So, any time that it's not high noon, I can't see jack. So, I'm kind of handicapped out there. It's true.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. They always say when you lose one sense, the other ones become more keen. And I find that that's very, very true in the woods. When I've gone out at night and investigating and stuff, if you can't see really well, your hearing, your smell, your sense of scent all become more prominent, and you hear all these little things moving and stuff, and the 800-pound squirrels that are in the woods that jump out of trees, and you think, oh my gosh, there's something over there, and then a squirrel, or in our case, we had something moving. We were listening to wood knocks. We could wood knock back and forth with something in the woods, and then this creature was coming through the woods off this hill towards us one night. And all of a sudden, it broke the free of the woods, and a possum walked out onto the trail. And I guarantee you that wasn't what was making the wood knocks, but
No.
it definitely sounded like something large coming towards us, and it was like the size of a football. So,
Wow.
very large football possum.
Yeah, we just recently in Texas had a situation where we had eye shine in the woods. And as we got closer and closer, and it was kind of weird. It was like two bright white lights, and when we'd move sideways, they would follow us. And I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. And as we got closer, I noticed it was getting down closer to the ground. And when we finally got there, it was a beer can. So,
very good, very good. And as you said, a lot of times when you're looking at eye shine in the woods, what looks like it's way up in a tree or at the 8-foot mark of say one of the Bigfoot creatures, when you realize that there's actually a hill or a rise there, and it ends up being a foot off the ground actually once you get up to it. So
yeah.
I think that's very, very interesting there. So I want to stop here just for a second, go back to some of these comments because we're getting kind of far out here. But on Hannah's point, it looks like Pyromedic here knows you and was thinking, okay, who is this woman and what did he do with Violet?
Thank you, Pyro. I love you, man.
And Lee would like to thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
And we also have the one and only Michael Freeman here.
Hi, Mike.
Hello to Scott and Hannah and myself. Hello, and thank you for watching today. Awesome. For those who don't know, he was a guest on my show. You can go back and watch that as well. But all right, I think you're all caught up. A lot of hellos and highs in there, but we got that. Thank you. Hello to everyone watching. There we go. So we're talking about like the behavioral science and stuff like that of what you do in your day job and that. So tell us a little bit about how that relates to Sasquatching, how you relate that to these creatures, and what you're hoping to connect dots with, I guess.
Well, so because of my background in human behavior, which was vital for both clinical social work and education, and that's actually, I would say, psychology, sociology, all that, how cultures develop and thrive and sometimes destroy themselves over time. It's always been a huge point of interest for me. And I started thinking about this when he started bringing forward his understanding that this is another hominid creature, much like former older versions of humans. So he started looking at the historical development of all the Latin words, like Neanderthal and Homo heidelbergensis and Homo florensis, blah blah blah, all this blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I start going into Charlie Brown mode. But when he started putting those pieces together and then connecting that dot with why is the Bigfoot species any different? If at any point in given history 2 to 3 different human species have coexisted, why is now any different? Then I started thinking, if that's the case, and this is qualitative research at its best, because qualitative research is all about just pulling information together and learning what questions to ask. we have no answers because honestly, we don't really necessarily have the right questions. And so my question started being, if this is indeed the case, then why would Bigfoot development be any different than any other one of these human subsets? So I started asking the question, all right, so we have a possible other human species coexisting with us. However, they have adapted to their environment just like we have adapted to our environment. And so what would that look like? What would that look like as far as intelligence development? And I went, in fact, if you really want to be bored, if you really want to do this,
Please.
you can go, we should send him a link to this. He turned over an entire hour of our show to me because he didn't know what to do. I said, well, let me do a show. And we did an hour show on applying Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences to what is Bigfoot intelligence. Human intelligence, generally speaking, is we have our social intelligence, we have natural intelligence, we have linguistic and mathematical and all these different kinds of intelligences that have helped us evolve to fit our environment, which is not very naturalistic, by the way. We've got a very high-tech, very non-nature based environment that humans tend to thrive in. And so I started, what would this look like for Bigfoot? We would have a higher natural intelligence. We would have higher gross motor skill intelligence. We would have, stuff like that to help them thrive in an environment where we don't thrive. And that's what, that's kind of the question that I started asking. What would a Bigfoot intelligence evolution look like? How does their, coming from a more metaphysical standpoint, how would their consciousness evolve to help them thrive in that environment? I actually sat down. I don't think we came to an answer, but I did sit down with Dr. Jeff, and I said, let's look at this handprint. I mean, look at how humans, we've got digits that help us manifest what we imagine. So we've got the opposable thumbs, we've got and that's all part of how humans create the world in which they live. We imagine it, we plan it out, and then we build it and we make it happen. How does that transfer over to, let's say, a Bigfoot who does not have hyperdeveloped fine motor skills? And we've talked a lot about on our show how they're tool using but not necessarily tool making, and you see that in their anatomy. But it doesn't mean they're any less intelligent than we are. It means that their intelligence has evolved to suit the environment in which they live. And so that's kind of where I go. And I'm starting to feel like I'm babbling, which I do. And I get lost, and it's like, what the hell am I talking about?
Well, what she's talking about is the handprint. If you look at some of the handprints that we have, and what she was talking about with Dr. Jeff, and I've talked with him about it too, is our fingers, we can touch our pinky. Their thumb is turned slightly and it's more straight. So their finger can't reach their pinky. It can only do this. They can grab things, but not like we do. I mean, because their thumb is actually turned sideways a little bit, more straighter, more which is better.
More like a chimpanzee.
It's more like a chimpanzee hand, which allows them, they can actually walk on I bet they can walk on their hands a lot better than we think they can. Because of the shape of them. But that's what she's talking about. Just because the hand's that way means it developed because of a different
because they were in a different environment. They had a different need for different kinds of intelligence. And so anyway, that's kind of where my interest lies. But I also look at things like based on what we hear from people, and this is where my research experience comes into play, qualitative research. When we talk to people, what did you experience? What did you see? What did you hear? All those things. With that's how we are looking to put together this basically this biological cultural narrative to tell us how do they exist out there. So this is how we've been able to see, okay, not just with reports, but with personal encounter stories. Not only do we have a record now of how they're moving, but we can see how do they interact with humans? What are the areas they protect? When are they more likely to interact with humans? And and it's asking those questions that helps us ask questions of how does Bigfoot function out there. And so we've been able to come to, probably in small family units, they follow the food, they protect the food source. And also with the reports we've gotten, the interviews we've conducted, more than likely Bigfoot is not going to allow himself to be seen, or herself or itself. I don't see that they're confused about that, but whatever. That's my opinion. But they have encounters when there's a youngling that's not paying attention, just like humans. When do humans have encounter? When do human adults get out of control? Generally, when the kids need comeuppance. So anyway, I hope I answered that question. Like I said, sometimes I babble, and sometimes I get lost in what's happening up here. So
it's all right. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do think that you covered very much what I was trying to get there.
okay.
We are having a very awesome conversation here with Scot and Hannah from Squatch America. We have to take a really quick 30-second break here for station identification, and for anybody out there that's interested in helping out the Untold Radio Network.
Show your support for the Untold Radio Network family of shows and join in on the conversation by using super stickers and super chats on YouTube. Got a question you want answered? Ask it live via a super chat and get real-time responses from our show's knowledgeable hosts and guests. Help keep the Untold Radio Network shows running strong. We need your support. Send your super chats and stickers now.
Awesome. And I want to thank Charlotte J in the comments here for being a Super Chats member. Thank you so much for showing your support for the Untold Radio Network. And Scot and Hannah, again, another comment here. Thank you for your service, Scot, from Kentucky, Tennessee Bigfoot. You guys have mentioned it, and I wanna get this out there right now that you guys have a podcast. Can you talk about what that is and where people can find it?
Okay, it's on YouTube at Squatch America. We have a weekly hour-long, usually have a weekly hour-long radio show where we have guests on, and then we talk about also weird stuff that Hannah comes up with, and we talk about our research and just latest things in the Bigfoot world. So you're going to be on our show soon too. So
I am.
Michael's been on our show a couple times. So I'm really close to the Freeman stuff because I actually grew up there. I mean, my house was literally 15 miles from where Deduck Springs was, where I grew up. So, of course, when all that was happening in the 90s, I was in the military. I was in Iraq and Germany and overseas when that happened. But coming back home, I mean, that's really home to me. But anyway, we talk Bigfoot stuff, and plus we do. We have our show that we have every Friday. It's called Footprint Friday. It's us going out in the woods, actually doing research, because we do that because we live full time in the woods.
And sometimes it's us interviewing other people who've done that. They bring their encounters to us, and we kind of help them pull it apart.
Yeah, and we take the people who witnesses out to the locations and talk with them and say, hey, okay, explain what you saw, and this is where you're standing, and stuff like that. And then we also take our Squatch Americans, we call them the Squatch Americans, which are people who follow us and people part of our group from all over the United States. Whenever we're in a certain area, we go out with them and do Bigfoot. I noticed there's Scott Goebel in the chat here. And he and I spent a lot of time in the woods together this last year and had some weird encounters. I'd have to say odd things happen.
That's actually, I mean, as far as being a Bigfoot research company or organization, whatever you want to call us, I think where we get the most pleasure. Well, of course, we love the research work and all that. That's fun, and of course, I love to theorize about everything. As I'm a geek, but I think our favorite thing to do is to meet up with our people and go out with them and share. Even if nothing happens, which is 95% of the time, unless you go to Crater Lake, Oregon, and then it's all on the table. But that place is just weird. But our favorite thing is just to go out with our people and spend time with them and develop relationships with our people. That's what I think brings us more joy than anything else. And if we never see another Bigfoot, just the fact that we've been able to travel the country and meet fellow enthusiasts and share theories and share experiences and share adult beverages, hey, that's the best part.
Yeah.
There's a sociologist in me right there.
Yeah.
See? It's all the people.
Yeah.
I know Cliff Barrickman always says, if you go out in the woods to look for Bigfoot, you're going to be disappointed. If you go out in the woods to spend a night and spend time with your friends and maybe find a Bigfoot, you're never going to have a bad day in the woods.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
And if you go out in the woods and make campfire roasted jalapeno poppers, you may find a Bigfoot. That's my theory. They're going to come for the poppers.
And then when they howl at the spiciness.
Yes.
I don't think that's part of their natural diet.
All right.
Lee would like to know here, what part of the country do they live? I think she means you guys. I know you travel a lot. But you were saying that you were from Deduck Springs area and that originally, but where are you guys originally from?
Okay, I originally grew up, like I said, in a small town called Somerville, Oregon. It's about 15 miles from Tollgate in that area. That's where I grew up. Hannah's a city girl. Well, actually, she grew up in a place called Yakima, Washington. Everybody's familiar with that.
I grew up in a house across the street from Roger Patterson,
and she never knew who he was.
Cattle country. I mean, I was 8 years old playing with the cow babies. Come on, I don't know who was what or what was who, but anyway.
Yeah.
So
Brush with greatness. There you go.
That's so yeah. But right now, we're in our 5th year, actually. Fourth.
Wait. We're just 19, 20, 21, we just finished our fourth
year, and we're starting our 5th year. Living full time in an RV and traveling. In 2020, we were both teaching school at the time at a high school, and we decided we didn't want to mess with that anymore. So
with all the excitement of 2020 and online education,
yeah. So we decided that we sold our house, sold everything actually, bought a RV and a pickup and hit the road. So we currently live in RV parks, basically wherever we happen to be.
Right now, home is north central Texas.
Yeah, we're near Lake Tawakoni, or no, not Tawakoni. We're
Texoma.
Texoma.
Thursday we'll be going to Lake Tawakoni.
Yeah, so we're just traveling the country, meeting Bigfooters and hanging out and following up on reports. One of the things,
scratching out a living,
Yeah, yeah. But so one of the things we do while we're traveling is we have our logos and stuff all over our truck, and that's not to be a show off or anything, but
Liar.
Listen, what it is Bigfoot Research Group, Squatch America on the side of our truck, and we cannot even go to a gas station without getting a Bigfoot report from somebody. They'll pull up beside us and say, "Hey, there we are," and
it is the most conspicuous truck on the freeway. It's like,
But the purposes of that is so we can get reports from people and talk
so
with
that
them.
we can deduct every single mile we drive.
Yeah.
I am the business person.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm not allowed to have money. I should have known that when her maiden name's Berkowitz and she's Jewish and she's really, truly Jewish as far as money goes. So, not to stereotype. Okay.
Liar.
Liar. But anyway, so we travel nationwide now. So we belong to it's almost like a what's that called? What's a campground thing? It's a timeshare, basically, kind of.
We have a campground membership with Thousand Trails, and then a few other memberships with like Good Salmon Harvest Hosts and different camping programs to get us across the country in.
So yeah,
probably as economical as you could possibly be in this current economic environment that we're all scratching our way through.
Yeah. So the Thousand Trails we belong to has 200 campgrounds all across the United States, and we can stay 21 days at a time at each one of them. So after we paid for our membership, so it's free basically. So we go from one of those to one of those, all over. There's like 20 of them in Texas. So we're just bouncing around Texas right now because it's winter up north and we can squatch down here without jackets. So
it's always a plus. It is 17 degrees here where I am today. So
no. Spent almost my entire life in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. Nope.
It's 80 here today.
It is not 80.
It's 80
60.
in here right now.
It's 80 in here because you were.
Well, that's all the time we got. I'm going to Texas.
Okay. Hey, so we've got a couple. There were a couple things, comments that I can see. Michael Fetterman is talking about Yakima being close to Rimrock. Rimrock was my favorite place. That was our favorite family camping spot growing up. And so this is how my family camped. This is before solar powered campers and stuff. We would take our pop-up trailer up to Rimrock Lake, and my dad had a generator and lots of extension cords, and he would bring up the TV and the VCR player and a collection. So we were watching movies on the VHS by Rimrock, and that's how we roughed it. Yes. So I'm telling you, I mean, I was glamping from a young age. Anyway, so that was fun.
I got to be honest, when I do go out in the woods and camp with, we used to have a conversion van, and I just sold that. Now I have an RV, and we run generators 24/7, but not for convenience, but we run security cameras, and all of our batteries and all of our equipment needs to get charged. So audio recorders and recording and that. So everything that we have runs 24/7. And that's why we have the generator. Otherwise, I'd be a lot less needy too.
Us too. Now we park our trailer at these RV parks, but we take our truck when we go into the woods. We have it's an overlander. We've got a built-in kitchen and a drawer that pulls out the back. We've got the pop-up tent on the the rooftop tent.
It's our apocalypse mobile.
Yeah. And it's got its own solar system, batteries in it, and we do have a generator too. And it's got 360-degree infrared cameras. We've got a thermal camera built on it.
If Renogy is listening, we would love a sponsorship. I think we could get them a lot of business.
So, and of course the audio recorder, we have a one that we put on a pole that goes way up in the air. And it's really sensitive. Just recently, we caught a train whistle over 2 mountaintops 30 miles away on our recorder, because that was the nearest railroad tracks from where we're at. And I was listening, and I got train whistle. Where in the heck was a train? Unless it was a ghost train. It could have been a ghost train.
I would not put it past that. Would not.
But we got this train whistle, and I actually looked it up, and the closest railroad track was 30 miles away, and it picked up the train whistle 30 miles away through the woods.
It's amazing how far, like I always say, we my book about the Haydn adventure I was talking about earlier, we go up there and we camp out several times a year. And sometimes that we're up there, I mean, we're not close to the road at all by any means. It's several miles out on any pretty much any given side of us. And some nights you can hear traffic going by just like it was on the other side of a tree
Yeah.
on these clear nights. And it's just amazing how sound travels in different times, different weather conditions, different, and it's so interesting how that works out there. Yeah. I had a comment here, and I want to kind of tie this into a question for you guys. Again, Michael Fetterman here, Olympic Peninsula, hellos, flesh and bone, ape like us proponent here. So you had talked, Hannah, a little bit about, the paranormal woo kind of side of this stuff, or the psychological side in that. So I'm going to start with Scott, though. And I would like to know, based on the research that you've done and all this stuff, everyone has differing opinions. What do you think these things are? Do you think that they're paranormal creatures, interdimensional? Do you think that they're more, well, obviously like flesh and blood, but do you think that they're more of a, like, gorilla, orangutan, primate, or do you think that they're more humanoid, Neanderthal, more humanistic, like Native American kind of people? What are your thoughts on all that?
Okay, well, coming from my background, I'm an anthropologist, and my expertise is actually in Native American culture. So, looking at it from that perspective, and having studied human evolution and the types of humans, I mean, that's what anthropology is, the development of humankind. I tend to lean, because they walk upright, because they have small canine teeth, that makes them a hominid like us. So I believe that there are another species of humans, not Neanderthal, because I am a Neanderthal.
Yes, he is.
So, a lot of people don't
Not
know.
lying.
A lot of people really don't know this, but I'm Acadian French. Down here in the South, they call us Cajuns. But they 5% of my DNA is actually Neanderthal. So we bred them out. So
You interbred.
yeah, the hominids, us, Homo sapien, bred them out. So I believe they're flesh and blood creatures. I believe that they're from Earth. I believe that they're probably just another version of us,
Another subset.
another subset of hominid.
Yeah.
Very good. And Hannah, what do you think?
So I want to clarify, when I say I'm the more metaphysical of the two of us. How do I say that? Okay, so I really don't think there's any such thing as woo. I do not, and some people, Locke's not on here. With the advances we've made, and they aren't significant, but with the whole opening up of quantum physics, our whole understanding of physicality is completely it's been upended. And I literally don't believe that there is woo. I think this is all just us, whether we are experiencing something physically or outside of our physical understanding. It's all very much part of the natural order. We just don't understand it yet. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think what people, and I also think that when people experience, whether Bigfoot, ghosts, whatever, when they're experiencing something that's outside the realm of understanding. And so, we get, I swear I saw this Bigfoot. He was there and then he wasn't. He went through a portal. He went right through the tree. And it's like, we try to really back them up. Did he really go through the tree? Or are we talking about an 8-foot creature who is uniquely adapted to his environment and knows how to move and has a 5-foot gait, a 5-foot stride, so that if they take, you look into the woods and you can't see more than 10 feet anyway. Are you did you just witness a creature do what it does in the woods? When you look at, you'll know this from the Freeman Files film. You know, you watch. Was that Big Jill?
I asked Michael. I think so.
Michael. Anyway, you watch that creature stop, assume the shape of the tree that it was standing behind, and you couldn't see it anymore because it knows how to navigate its environment. We don't, but as humans, we go into any situation. This is more that sociology. Humans have this unique we've got a superiority complex where our reality is the only reality, our understanding is the only understanding. So we go out there and we put this filter of what is a human experience onto an entire world that we don't understand. And when it doesn't respond like a human encounter, we don't know what to do with that. So we call it was a ghost. It went through a portal. It was an alien. I don't know. I have my alien right here. but so I honestly think that everything that we are encountering out there, and I think that Bigfoot is very much part of the natural order, just like everything else is. We just don't have we don't have the smarts to comprehend it all yet.
Absolutely. And in case you're wondering if you were babbling, John says, "Awesome response, Hannah." So we go what you're saying. We understand. We got you.
You should see me messaging on my yoga forum. It's like 16 paragraphs later. Well, with that said, I hope you all have a nice day.
So in other words, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I am very wordy. It's true. It's true.
That's great. It's
so actually yes. Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot.
This one?
No, it was further up. He wanted to know if we have pets. We have one.
Oh, yep.
We have one pet. Her name is Daisy. Yep. She's an alpha female boxer Rottie mix. And is she a good squatching dog? Nope.
We were hoping. Actually, I bought an $80 book to train her to be a cadaver dog, but I wanted her to be a bad cadaver dog, one that most cadaver dogs are trained to pick up on a certain species, like humans. This is the smell of a dead human. I wanted her to be able to. I was training her to pick up any dead thing, no matter what it is, as long as it's dead, to find bones. So she's not going to be looking for humans or Bigfoot. She's going to be looking for any dead thing. So we've found a lot of dead squirrels, and deer.
Yeah,
but that's my plan. We're teaching her. She's not quite there yet, but she's working on it.
Yeah, she is definitely an alpha female and very strong-willed and doesn't like to listen.
Yes.
But she's a sweetie, and she sleeps on the bed and kicks us both out by morning. So yeah. There was so Richard, I love looking at these questions. I
have them all starred over here for you.
I know. So 14
yes,
physical. This is Richard's. Did we know that there are 14 physical traits commonly reported in Bigfoot sightings that match those of humans with gigantism and a word I've never honestly seen in my entire life? Acromegaly?
Acromegaly.
And that's a condition where if your pituitary gland makes you grow fast and big.
Is that what Andre the Giant had?
Yes.
Oh,
something close to that. Yeah. No. Okay, so yes, they have those traits, but I don't think they have gigantism or acromegaly. I believe that that's just their developmental path. They're the size they are because of the environment they're in. I think they're big just because they can take down bears and don't have to worry about it, or they can hunt deer by just chasing them down and grabbing them.
I have some thoughts,
because they're fast and big and strong.
I have thoughts about that too.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff we love talking about with our people, because we get a lot of people that say, well, are they the Nephilim from the Old Testament? And both of us were ordained at one point in time, and so we're very, very familiar with scriptural texts. And so if you look at ancient mythology where humans were bigger and stronger and faster. As a health coach, I do a lot of nutritional guidance and advising, and humans over time have poisoned themselves. I mean, look at the crap we eat. We are not healthy anymore as a species. We are a hot mess. Look at you. We're a hot mess. So what would, honestly, here's a thought just to consider. What would humanity look like if we were still eating completely clean, unpolluted water, no chemical interference, no big pharma throwing crap in, corporate farming? And you want to talk conspiracy, let's talk conspiracy. Anyway, what would we look like if we were unpolluted, if we as a species were unpolluted? And you look at for instance, the Aboriginal humans in the depths of Australia, they can run farther, faster, harder. They're still hunting with spears. I'm not saying that we were these glorified beings. Obviously, there were a lot of differences, but we sure could exist more successfully in that environment than we can now. We're soft. Anyway,
Rich says, precisely, but maybe they are what happens when humans are normally that size, possibly megafauna versions of humans left over from the last ice age.
I agree, and I give that a thumbs up. There we go.
Yeah. So, and then there was another question, and someone said, I don't remember who it was, sorry. But we don't have enough. It's true, we don't have enough scientific evidence or information to make really hard drawn conclusions, which is why I call our research qualitative. We're asking lots of questions, and we're trying to find patterns that lead us to better questions, because that's what we need. We can't even start. This is qualitative research is necessarily soft. We cannot even start hard research yet, because we don't have that much. All we can do, there it is. We don't have enough scientific evidence to make a conclusion. So we just keep asking questions. We keep asking questions. And someday we're going to have a question. We're going to have a research question that's specific enough that we can actually do hard research with it. Someday. We're not there yet. So it's all just conjecture and fun conversations.
I agree. You guys are absolutely amazing. We are coming up at the end of the show. I know that you had a little bit extra time here and stuff. I don't want to, keep you too long in that. So if anybody has any last minute questions, throw them in the comments section. We'll try and get to them here as quick as we can. Again, guys, thank you so much for being on the show today. Remind everybody where they can find you, your podcast show, what it's called, and all that information, please.
Okay, our podcast is Squatch America, and it is on YouTube and on Rumble too. We do both. And let's see, you can find us. We have Squatch America on Facebook and our squatchamerica.com, where you can submit reports, and we will get back to you actually and talk with you about your reports.
I would also like to put out there, we had a couple comments that if someone, hey, you should invite them to your festival. We are now booking out for 2025. If someone from Tennessee, perhaps, we've been trying to get to Tennessee for years. It's the secret to getting us over onto and people from the East Coast are always saying, you need to come out here, you need to come out here. The secret is book us now for 2025 before the West Coast books us for 20, because we are booked out for 2024.
Yeah. So you want to?
Yeah. So we start in February in Eugene, Oregon. I'm not going to read all of them, but we'll be in Oregon and Northern California, because we will not go to Southern California. Sorry, that's off the table. We're going to be in Oregon, Northern California, and Washington from February through July. We're taking August off to go to a family wedding. Then in September, we'll be in Cloudcroft, New Mexico for the very first Cloudcroft Bigfoot Festival. And then we're coming back to Texas for the cold times.
Yeah.
So 2025, if you want us back east, now's the time to put yourselves on our calendar.
But the bigger ones, we're going to be in May 24th and 25th. We'll be at the Forks Squatch Days. We'll be at the Medellin Falls Bigfoot Festival, and then we'll also be at the Glide Bigfoot Fest. which last year they had 14,000 people show up to that thing.
So get us on. So if you want us out on the East Coast, squatchamerica@gmail.com. Get on our calendar now.
What's happening in Eugene in February?
Okay, all right.
It's the Eugene Boat and Sportsman Show. Now we do something a little different. We do 4 sports. We do a lot of 5 sportsman shows a year, where it's just us. We're the only Bigfoot people there, and the rest of them are all just hunting guides and stuff. And you will not believe how many hunting guides will give me Bigfoot stories, but tell me never to say anything to anybody about that. Yeah. So I've got some really great stories from sports guides who take people out hunting.
And just for your audience, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. We love doing this. Just, you want to hop on a Zoom and chat with us, we can do that. All of our contact information is on our website. You can email us anytime. We love making friends with Bigfoot, with Bigfooters. It's the best part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Guys, I can't thank you enough. There's so many amazing comments in here that you guys are awesome people and such a great show. This is such a fun couple. Here's one. And Scot and Hannah are so cute. There you go. There's so many comments in there, guys. Everybody loved the show today. Thank you.
Tell
so
Doug.
much.
Tell Doug he needs to be our buddy. Doug, are you listening?
Doug says he watches every one of our shows on the network. So there you go.
Okay.
Tell Doug whatever you want right now, and he'll have to.
E-bikes for the both of us would be fantastic.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
I know. Sponsor us. I mean, we're like every other straggling YouTuber out there. It's like, let's get a sponsor, please.
Awesome. Well, there you go, Doug. If you're listening,
wouldn't mind giving up my day job. It's true.
Awesome, guys. Well, I look forward to talking to you again. I know you had mentioned that I'm coming on your show. I think that's live, right? That is going to be December, the week of Christmas, on a Wednesday. Whatever that happens.
Wednesday at 7:00 Central.
That'll be after Christmas, whatever day that is. I think that's
28th.
I think.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think where we're going to be on Christmas. We're actually going to be in Roswell.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
That sounds great, guys. I can't wait.
I will say, Roswell, the Alien Museum in Roswell is where I finally let go of the thought that there was such a thing as conspiracy. It's like, there is no conspiracy. There's just truth that they're hiding.
Yeah.
And conspiracy is we're the first ones to key in on it. Like, methinks they do protest too much. So, thanks for having us on, Barnaby.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. You guys are welcome to come back anytime. If you got anything coming up, just shoot me a message. I'd love to hear from you guys, and hopefully we can have you come up to Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. I will talk to you guys about 2025 because apparently Lee wants to meet you, and 2025 or 2024 is already booked, so we are looking for 2025. So
awesome.
Let's see what we can do.
All right, perfect.
All right, guys, take care. Have a great day.
Bye.
All right, guys, that is our show. Thank you so much for all the comments and questions and everything in there today. It was amazing. Scot and Hannah are terrific people. I'm so happy to have them on our show, and always a bunch of fun and a bunch of amazing information from both of them. So thank you guys again so much for coming on. Check them out at squatchamerica.com. The links are in the comments section over there. You can go click that and subscribe to their YouTube as well. Coming up, guys, next week, Anita Collier is going to be on our show here. It's going to be a great show with her, another amazing Bigfooter with a lot of experience and information to share. So definitely looking forward to that. And I hope to see you guys right back here, same time, same place on the Untold Radio Network. Until then, I'll see you on the edge.